messed up. This Karen thinks that she can tell the judge how to run his court, but she gets a rude awakening when she finds out that the judge is still the boss.
And that'll be on May the 20th.
I would like it in August sometime.
Listen, ma'am, I don't take reservations. This isn't like Big Bear Lodge or some restaurant or something. I have the next court date available. And
But
that's
this
May
is
20th.
people's court, right? So we can request.
No, you can't. It's May 20th, and that's going to be at 8:30 in the morning. All right, so
Right now it was 10 o'clock and here we at 7:30. So,
all right, I'll see you on May 20th at 8:30 here at the courthouse.
okay, good morning.
Morning, Randy Gill.
Yes, how are you?
All right, good. Miss Gill, I have a ticket here. Today's the date and time set for a show cause. You owe $367, and I was curious why you haven't taken care of the payment here.
Okay, so I got a ticket a while back in first one.
Yeah, noxious weeds. Yep.
Yeah, in May. So the letter came later. So the ticket indicated it was given on the 10th. And I didn't receive anything until like 12 days later in the mail. So
Okay,
I didn't get the warning.
Sure. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set aside the default, because basically a default is what you're saying. And then I'm going to set aside the default. And would you like to speak with the prosecutor about it? Are you the landlord on the matter?
Yeah, so it didn't become a default. I didn't finish, sir. So I paid 500.
Because it did because it says there was a default generated. It was defaulted because you didn't appear or fight it or set it during a regular amount of time. And you're telling me why, so I just went ahead and set the default that aside.
Okay.
So would you like to speak with the prosecutor about the property?
Well, actually, I did pay 555 back in July 1st. That's what I'm trying to say.
Not on this case, you did.
Yeah, so basically, I talked to someone, and then she said she was going to find out why I didn't get the first warning, which she never got back with me. And then she was sending somebody to cut the grass, and I was also sending someone to cut the grass, and there was two people cutting the grass, one from the court, one from my side. And I said the person who's going behalf of court, they need to send me pictures, because my guy, the grass cutting guy, was sending the
I don't, ma'am, I'm just going to tell you, nobody from my court goes and cuts grass.
She must have got a bill from the city.
No, there is somebody, not your court, but whichever department wrote the citation. So
she had a previous noxious weed.
You had a previous noxious weeds that you paid. Then the weeds and the stuff grew up again, and you were given a noxious weeds second offense. That's what this case is.
That's what I'm trying to explain. I did have somebody. I hired somebody already to go cut the grass, and then he was sending me pictures, and the court was not the court, but whoever wrote the citation, they're sending somebody else. So I said I need to prove if they're sending, and she never got back with me. That's what I'm saying.
None of that applies to my case here. If you hired somebody,
this is my case. That applies to my case.
Ma'am, stop. All right, so I'm just going to reinstate the default, and I'll just go ahead and sign you off, because you literally are not hearing anything I'm saying. What I'm saying is I don't send anybody to go cut the grass. If you hired somebody to cut the grass and they weren't cutting the grass because obviously they wrote it up again, there's a problem. That's one of the risks of being a landlord who lives in California who can't actually see their property. So if you have a problem with the person who was cutting your grass, because obviously they weren't, or they wouldn't have wrote up a noxious weeds case again for you. So what I'm saying is, they were
cutting the grass because they were sending me pictures.
Well, that's obviously they weren't, because somebody wasn't cutting the grass because this got written up again.
I'm going to go out on a limb here, Karen, and I'm going to say that it's very likely that the person you hired sent you pictures of the other guy's work, and you were dumb enough to pay for it without question.
That's
So
what
what
I
I'm
was trying to
saying is,
understand. Like, why are they they're putting citation when they're cutting the grass? So I paid
because they obviously,
555 just for the grass. This is like, way too much just for the grass. It's not a crime. So the first one I
it is
did,
an ordinance violation if it's above a certain amount of length. So yes, it is. I don't know if you don't, I don't know what your manicuring of your lawn is like in California, but it grows pretty
I mean,
quickly
I
here.
lived in Michigan for 28 years and my
Sure,
sister
that's
lived
great.
in Taylor.
I'm just saying that there is, would you like to speak with I set aside the default. Would you like to speak with the prosecutor about it, or do you want to just set it up for a formal hearing?
I would like to get it dismissed because the first one I didn't get
That's
first
not
time
one of the,
courtesy.
that's not one of the options that I just gave you. Would you like to speak with the prosecutor, or would you like to set it for a formal hearing?
What does that mean, like formal hearing again?
That means that everybody can come here, you show me your pictures, the city ordinance officers will show me their pictures. And if I see their pictures and the grass is above a certain length, then you're gonna be held responsible. But everybody will
Yep,
be under oath.
I would like to see the, citation side of the, the grass, what they have,
Alright,
who
so-
cut it. So
Sure, so we're gonna set it up for an in-person hearing, here. Cause I can't see people's pictures on Zoom. Holding up pictures like this doesn't do me any good. So we're gonna set it for an in-person.
I mean,
formal
I
hearing.
can email it to the court and you can open it. I mean, you don't have to hold up on the camera. There's another way
No,
to send the pictures.
I'm gonna set it for, I know, but I need to have everybody lay a foundation for the pictures. And having a trial like that, it's just better to do it in person.
So
we're
I
gonna
would
set
like
that for person.
in August
We're gonna
or
set-
something.
And please stop. So I'm gonna set that for an in-person hearing. That's gonna be, you're gonna be receiving the date in the mail. And that'll be on May the 20th.
I would like it in August sometime.
Listen, ma'am, I don't take reservations. This isn't like Big Bear Lodge or some restaurant or something. I have the next court date available. And
But
that's
this
May
is
20th.
people's court, right? So we can request.
No, you can't. It's May 20th and that's gonna be at 8:30 in the morning. All right, so.
Right now it was 10 o'clock and here we at 7:30. So
All right, I'll see you on May 20th at 8:30 here at the courthouse.
I feel like no matter what the judge says in this scenario, she was going to have an argument. If he said up, she'd say down. If he said left, she'd say right. But then when she said this...
Available.
but this is people's court, right? So we can request.
Yeah, Karen, you can make any request you want. You could request that the judge himself go out with a tiny pair of scissors and cut the grass for you. Doesn't mean he has to do it just because it's the people's court.
Miss Scroggin, I am troubled by your attitude.
Now, the judge may be troubled by this lady's attitude, but I've got to say that I was kind of entertained by it, and I hope you will be too.
I'm sorry, I'm really upset
Well, if
because
you,
it all came from from the officer entering my house. Like, no, it's okay. Yeah, I'm just really upset, and I guess that's not understandable.
we are on the record in 2024 TR 395, State versus Wood. Mr. Regier is before, defendant still failing to appear. Mr. Wood or Mr. Regier?
Yes, Your Honor. This is a case where a motion for judgment on bond was filed with the court back in January. The attached notice of hearing appears to refer to the defendant as well as today's date and time, March 17th, 2025 at 9 a.m. I do appear to have an affidavit of service by certified mail that does appear to include a local address that does appear to correspond with the address on the appearance bond, which does appear to be for $1,000 OR. The attached document that I have attached to the affidavit of service does appear to include an indication stating, quote, return to sender, attempted, not known, unable to forward. Under those circumstances, the state will defer to the court as to how it wishes to proceed.
Motion for judgment on bond is granted.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Back on the record in 24 CR 189, State of Kansas versus Heather Lynn Scroggin. Jared Regier for the state. Darren Patterson for the defendant, who also appears in person. Please proceed.
Your Honor, we'll announce at this time, Ms. Scroggin will enter a plea of no contest to the 1 count of possession of marijuana.
Ms. Scroggin, is that right? You want to plead no contest to 1 count of possession of marijuana?
Yeah. Yes,
Are
Your
you-
Honor.
Are you pleading guilty because you want to?
No
No
contest.
one's making you? Oh, I'm sorry. You're pleading no contest? Are you pleading guilty of your own free will without any kind of force or pressure by anyone else?
No.
You understand you're giving up your right to trial and won't be able to appeal any convictions that result from this plea?
Yep.
Good. All right, I'll find her plea knowingly and voluntarily entered. Mr. Regier.
Yes, Your Honor. I mean, for purposes, has the court accepted the no contest plea?
The court does accept a no contest plea if you'll
Thank you, Your Honor.
provide a factual basis.
Thank you, Your Honor. For purposes of a factual basis, the affidavit in this matter does appear to refer to an encounter with law enforcement occurring on March 18th of 2024. Pursuant to paragraph 5, the defendant was located at a particular address in Augusta, Butler County, Kansas, thereby giving this court with jurisdiction.
In my house.
In her house in Augusta, Kansas.
And additionally, Your Honor, pursuant to paragraph 7 of the affidavit, upon being Mirandized, the defendant admitted that she obtained a certain item of marijuana while in another state, as well as detailed to law enforcement how she made how she obtained such an item.
All right, I find the defendant guilty. Recommendations for sentencing.
Yes, Your Honor. Pursuant to plea negotiations, the state is prepared to recommend no fine, that the court assess court costs, as well as make a determination on the issue of attorney's fees. It is the state's understanding that this is the case where KBI restitution does apply. The state is further recommending 120 days underlying sentence with 6 months of reporting probation, subject to all standard conditions, including that the defendant be ordered to complete a drug and alcohol evaluation, as well as the standard $60 probation fee.
Mr. Patterson.
Nothing further, Judge.
Okay, where do you work, ma'am?
In Wichita at USD 259.
Are you a teacher there?
Yep.
All right. What grade do you teach?
First grade.
First grade. All right.
Wait, so this absolute smooth brain teaches kids and acts like them. Let me know in the comment section. Would you want this one to be your kid's teacher?
At this time, I will not give you a fine, but I will order you a suspended sentence of 120 days. I will grant you 6 months probation, that if you complete that successfully, you will not have to serve 120 days in jail. You're not given a fine, as I said, but you will have to pay $400 up to the KBI. Mr. Regier, you are retained or appointed?
Forgive
So
me, Your
even
Honor. I believe I am in the role as prosecutor for this case.
I'm appointed, Judge.
All right, thank you, Mr. Patterson. All right, $400 KBI fee, $250 appointed attorney fees, not for Mr. Regier, but for Mr. Patterson.
And I paid a lot of fees already for this ticket. And then, so this is already in addition, this is going to be in addition to all those fees that I've already paid.
Are you maybe thinking about all you've paid on your traffic diversion in the prior case?
Yes.
Yeah, that's not this case. That diversion was a totally different issue. And that one.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's good. All right. So
Yeah, that driving while suspended had different conditions and failed to yield had different conditions. This one is the possession of marijuana. And so $400 to the KBI, $250 to a court-appointed attorney fees, $153 to court costs, $60 to probation supervision fee.
crazy.
Excuse me?
Is there gonna be a way that, is this gonna be the only way I'm gonna be able to find out all the fees, or is there gonna be another way to find out? So, cause I just have 400, 250, 150, 360. Like, is there gonna be another way besides talking to you, or is this like the only way to figure out my fees, just so I have them all down? Or like a timeline of when I'm gonna be able to pay all this or anything?
Well, I'm going to tell them to you. If you need me to add them for you instead of doing it yourself, I can do that. I've already done that. $400 to the KBI, 250 to the court-appointed attorney fund, 153 court costs, $60 probation supervision fee, for a total of 863. If my math is correct, I believe it is, but the clerk will double check me. And then you can double, triple check the clerk if you don't trust that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And you can also check with your your probation officer. And
Will do.
Miss Scroggin, I am troubled by your attitude.
I'm sorry, I'm really upset.
Well,
Because it all came from, from the officer entering my house. Like, no, it's okay. Yeah, I'm just really upset, and I guess that's not understandable. I'm sorry. I wouldn't want you to take any more time. We've already, I know there's been a lot going on, so thank you. I'm sorry, I'm upset and having a hard time masking my emotions. I apologize.
Your sentence is, as I told you, 120 days. You can serve that in jail unless you successfully complete your probation, which is for 6 months. You must call probation immediately after this hearing. Their number is 316-322-4153. You are required to follow all standard conditions, which they will go over them with you. You are to get an alcohol and drug evaluation. I want you to have that scheduled within 14 days. You don't have to have it started, but you need to call within 14 days and get it scheduled, and you have to comply with what it says. You have to sign any and all necessary paperwork, consent, so the agencies that are working with you and court services can freely exchange information to make sure you're doing well on your probation. You are to use absolutely no alcohol or illegal drugs, whether you buy them in Missouri, Colorado, Oklahoma. They're still illegal under federal law, and it's still illegal to use them in Kansas. It's illegal to possess them, so do not use them, possess them. You cannot even go to Missouri and smoke a joint while you're in Missouri. Do you understand that?
Yes.
I'm sorry, but that's the way it's going to be. And I'm going to make you get random UAs. And you're going to start with a hair follicle test and I want your counts to see how dirty you are today, to make sure that if you go up, we know you're using. So you better go down on those counts. And I don't, like I said, I don't want you going over there to Oklahoma, Colorado, some of those states and getting high and thinking you're beating your probation.
Yeah.
You're not to be around people that are using. So if you're living with someone that uses, that person has to stop using or use it somewhere far away from you. They can't have it in the house. They can't use it around you. Not in the car, nothing. And Mr. Regier, make sure you please get in the journal entry that she's to get a hair follicle within the next couple of days. I'd say within 48 hours, hair follicle in her first UA with nanogram counts to see if she goes up or down. And,
or this is an officer coming inside my house and finding a joint that I brought from out of state. That's
so you don't think you
for
did
a court date. For a court date I missed, and I was told that I was good to go for my diversion. When I called the diversion people, then the cops show up and they come into my house without saying they're coming in. Just, it's crazy that you're treating me like this. Like,
treating you like you broke the law? Maybe you did. Yes, you did. All right. And it's not the first time, because I had you in here in 23 as well. for driving without a license and not yielding at a stop or yield sign. So you
Yeah.
need to, maybe these laws seem petty to you and that you don't really need to worry about them, but you do. All right. Anything else, Mr. Regier?
Not on this matter, Judge.
And I will tell you, Ms. Scroggin, if you approach your probation and your probation officers, as you have done me today, there's a high probability that you'll be back here with a motion to revoke your probation and to serve your 120 days. Because that's what I typically see when people take the attitude that they're above the law and they don't have to follow the laws they don't like. That being said, call your probation officer as soon as you hang up from this call. This call is.
I don't know if I was targeted because I'm
Well,
the
some
old
of these guys
person
want
or
to
my
run
car.
for Congress. Some of these guys want to run for Congress. I've been watching this my whole career. It's easy to criticize. Unless that officer was there, they ought not be yapping their gums. You can tell that officer that I said that.
Well, folks, with this video, I can very confidently say that this lady is a Karen. Why? Because her name is actually genuinely Karen. But is she a Karen? And do you think that this whole thing was fair? I'm dying to hear what you have to say about this one. I gotta be honest, I don't know if it was a case that the judge isn't really listening properly or that she's not explaining herself properly. I kind of struggled to understand fully what was going on here, what her argument was. It just, something didn't add up. Not necessarily to say that she was wrong or what she was saying didn't add up in terms of she was lying, but I just couldn't get to the bottom of it at all. So let me know what you think.
Against Karen Pasquale, Kara Emma Pasquale, 25W8376662. Is the officer here, Lisa? Officer Guzman. Yeah. Officer, your name? Good morning, officer. Your name? You're muted.
Good morning, Your Honor. Officer Guzman.
Ms. Pasquale, your name?
Hi, Karen Pasquale.
So you're charged with disobey the traffic signal. You said you wanted an informal. I'm sure she'll offer you impeding again. I mean, she did offer you impeding. You don't want to plead to impeding? You want to go to this hearing still? I mean, she could ask me to amend the case. I'm not saying she's going to do that, amend the charge.
Well, Judge, she told me that it was yellow until I was under it and it turned red. So when I asked her superior officer about that, he said that didn't warrant a ticket.
What do you want to do, Ms. Guzman? Do you feel like she ran the red light here?
Your Honor, I already amended it down to impeding. So I'm willing to fight against it. Do you want me to just give the whole situation?
If you guys aren't going to resolve it, I'm just going to have you both swear. I'm going to swear you both in and let you speak. Raise your right hands. You solemnly swear affirm under penalties of perjury the testimony you'll give in these proceedings will be the whole truth, so help you God. Ms. Officer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Ms. Pasquale?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Yes, Your Honor. So on
I know you're a young officer. I'm just telling you what can happen when you write for impeding.
Okay.
You follow me?
Yes, Your Honor.
I mean, you do what you want. I'm just telling you, then all your cards are kind of like out of your hand. You follow me? I mean,
yes, Your Honor.
But go ahead. You go ahead now.
Yep. So on 2/5/2025 at approximately 11:17 hours, I was in the left-hand turn lane on Allen Road facing northbound. We had a blinking yellow light.
Wait a minute. Left-hand turn lane of Allen Road?
Yes, Your Honor, at the Allen Road and King Road intersection.
I see. And you were facing which direction?
I was facing northbound.
Okay, go ahead.
Yep, so I was facing northbound. We had a blinking yellow light. I was watching traffic proceed, traveling south and north. The north and south traffic, the light turned yellow. And then I was watching traffic go through. I noticed a vehicle speed up to beat the yellow light. As that vehicle went through, it turned red. That vehicle had to pass another vehicle who stopped behind that yellow light in order to get past it. So I activated my lights. I initiated a traffic stop, made contact with the driver, who was Miss Karen Pasquale. I advised her the reason of the stop. She proceeded through the yellow light, and it turned red as she went through it. And then I gave her a citation for impeding traffic, cut it down a little bit, and she said that she passed the vehicle to get through the light. because the car in front of her stopped and she was afraid that she might hit it. That car in front of her had enough time to stop at the yellow light. Therefore, in my eyes, she purposely sped through it. She had more than enough time to stop for that yellow light.
All right, guys, we'll just take a quick break here. I want to say thank you so much for all of your support. If you do like the video so far, hit that like button, comment, subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you want to support the channel in other ways, there is a PayPal link down below. You can grab some merch or become a Patreon or member. You can also drop a super thanks down there, and I'd really appreciate it. Thank you.
And then she stated that she went through a yellow light. It was not red as it turned through. I stated that it was. But in itself, going through an amber light is also a violation.
Right.
However, I still cut it down to impeding traffic.
Any questions of her,
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Pasquale?
Does she have body cam that shows our conversation?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Okay. And then when we had our discussion, you did tell me that it was yellow when I went through it and it was red when I was under it.
Correct.
Correct. And I did not tell you that I tried to avoid a vehicle. I did not feel that it was safe to stop at a yellow light. So I followed the law and went through a yellow light that was not red until you said I
But
was
you know
under.
that you have to stop
Absolutely.
if you can on a yellow light, right?
Absolutely. I did not feel it was safe, and I had passed that car up way before that light turned yellow. So avoiding somebody stopping fast is not an unsafe driver or against the law either.
What do you mean by that? I don't understand what you guys are saying about passing a car. You were turning left onto eastbound on King, right? You were turning left on onto, wait a minute, you were going northbound. So you were turning left onto westbound King, right?
The officer was,
Yes, Your Honor. I was, yes.
Yeah, and she was coming southbound on Allen and turning left onto King, right? So she was turning on the eastbound King.
No, I wasn't
Right?
turning. I was going straight, Your Honor.
She was traveling straight, Your Honor.
Straight.
Yeah.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I
I
wasn't slowing
misunderstood.
down at all. I wasn't speeding. I wasn't doing anything wrong.
Were you traveling northbound or southbound?
I was going southbound, if you're asking me.
I am. All right, so you're going southbound. And what car are you talking about that she was passing? Can you tell me? I'm not clear on that.
Yes, Your Honor. So she was in the middle lane. There was a car in front of her who stopped at the yellow light. She passed on the right side to avoid that vehicle to go through the yellow light.
She's interpreting.
Wait a minute, slow down. I guess I'm just losing it here. I'm not understanding. Maybe I got my head with one thing. She is going southbound, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you said the middle lane, there's a turn lane there on Allen and King, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
There's a turn lane there, and then there's 2 lanes going southbound and 2 lanes going northbound.
Yes, Your Honor. So she was in the
What do you
middle
mean
lane.
when you say, hang on, slow down. When you say middle lane, what lane are you talking about? There's only a middle left turn lane, and there's 2 northbound and 2 southbound lanes there. That's where you're throwing me.
I gotcha. So the 2 lanes that are heading southbound, you have the right lane, the center lane, and the left turning lane. She was in that center lane if we're talking about heading southbound.
I would call it the left lane of southbound Allen Road, but so you're saying she was going in the left lane, right?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
And she passed the car that you said was doing what?
There was a vehicle in front of her. She passed that vehicle into the right lane in the southbound lanes in order to go through that yellow light. That other vehicle was able to stop at the yellow light.
I see. Is
Your
that
Honor,
true?
No, that car had other, it was also behind other vehicles. I went into the right lane because I wanted to go in the right lane. There was more cars in that lane. She can't interpret my thinking. And I was not speeding. I did not go through a red light. I did not stop abruptly because I had my grandchild in the car and I'm a safe driver and I wouldn't have.
What did she
made a safe
say to you
run.
when you stopped her, officer?
Yes, Your Honor. She told me that she avoided those vehicles, right? She was passing them because she felt she didn't have enough time to stop. However, in my defense, I feel that if those vehicles had time to stop, she had plenty of time to stop as well.
They were in a
Did you
totally
tell her
different.
that?
Yes,
Did you
Your
tell
Honor.
her that?
Yes, Your Honor.
No, but did you tell her that you switched lanes because you didn't have time to stop for the other vehicles?
I don't believe I told her that, Your Honor. All I did was tell her I changed lanes and that I would not stop because it wasn't safe for me. And whether I avoided a vehicle or not,
Why
I've got
wasn't
the
it
right to
safe?
change
But wait a
lanes.
minute. Wait. That's where you're losing me. Why wasn't it safe for you to stop? Because the
I'm
other
just-
vehicles had stopped?
No, all I did in my defense of her was to tell her if I thought that the yellow light was so far yellow or that I should stop or that it changed with time for me to stop safely, I would have. I wasn't going to make an unsafe stop.
Okay, were the vehicles in front of you stopped or still moving? And
No,
in the
there was
left lane of southbound Allen Road?
There was multiple vehicles, but I turned the right lane way before any light change. And because, when you're able to change lanes at will, whether I changed lanes because I wanted to be in the right lane, or whether I changed lanes because there were so many cars in front of me, I don't know. I just changed lanes.
Well, I understand that. I want to ask you one more question. I'm not understanding though, when you're saying to me, I changed lane, I ran through the light or I went through the yellow light because I didn't feel like it was safe. Am I putting your words in your mouth or not?
Yeah, I think you misinterpreted me. What I meant to say was.
Okay, tell me again.
If the yellow light turned in time for me to stop safely, I would have. So that there's no way that I thought that light had turned yellow to where I could stop safely. That's what a yellow light's for. If you can stop safely, you stop. If you can't, it's a yellow light that you're able to go through safely.
Do you have notes
Your
or anything,
Honor, also,
officer?
You're also. Can I make one more point, officer?
Sure.
Judge? If she's under the light turning left, I kind of doubt she knows when that light was turning yellow and red.
I wasn't directly under it, Your Honor.
What car were you in the lineup of left-hand turn there?
Second, Your Honor. I had one vehicle in front of me.
And you're sure that she ran the red light, or at least was underneath the traffic signal?
Yes, Your Honor. She was the only vehicle that proceeded through.
And when you say that, are you sticking with your story that the other two vehicles or other vehicles in the left lane of southbound Allen had already stopped before she went through the intersection?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything else that you want to say, officer?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else, Ms. Pasquale?
Your Honor, I have an impeccable record. I'm a safe driver. I follow the law. I know how to drive. I'm 63 years old. And I did not, and she admitted to me when she pulled me over that I did not run a red light, that it was red when it was under my car, my car was under the light. When I asked numerous police officers from Trenton and Woodhaven and her officer that I spoke with when I showed up before.
Sometimes they want to lip off too. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I asked for an honest opinion.
Anybody knows that you have to stop on a yellow light if you can.
Yes, if I can.
And I don't look. I understand. I'm just going to disagree with you. I'm going to find you responsible. It's 150. You can appeal this if you'd like to the other judge. If you want to just tell them, hey, I want to appeal that decision, it is 0 points. It's not going on your record, but you can feel free to appeal to Judge Hesson, okay?
Judge, I just feel that that her superior officer, the magistrate, when I showed up to court the first time when she wasn't there, said that he didn't feel that this was something she should have written a ticket for. So I don't know if I was targeted because I'm
Well,
the
some
old
of these guys
person
want to
or my
run for
car.
Congress. Some of these guys want to run for Congress. I've been watching this my whole career. It's easy to criticize. Unless that officer was there, they ought not be yapping their gums. You can tell that officer that I said that.
So yeah, guys, like I've watched this now probably 3 or 4 times and I'm still struggling to see kind of what's going on here. Was it the case that it was unsafe for her to stop? Well, we don't really know. You could say that, yeah, the officer maybe was well placed to be able to say that it was safe to stop. But she made a very valid point that the officer can't tell us what that lady was thinking. You can only say what she observed and leave it up for the judge to decide whether or not it seems plausible. Evidently, he didn't think it was for whatever reason, but I couldn't quite understand it. Again, not saying he's wrong. I think it's just a case that maybe it wasn't explained very well. Help me out with this one in the comment section, will you? I don't know who's right, who's wrong here. And
I did.
Stop talking.
2 words for you there, Nostradamus. Camera angles. Nobody wants to be looking up there. I can see so far up her nostrils that I can literally see what she's thinking. And you're about to hear what she's thinking here in a second and hear the judge's response to it. And it gets pretty lit. So let me know what you think down below. I think Nostradamus is a pretty good one, but let me hear your best ones down below.
Let's go back on the record with Miss Gutierrez. All right, Miss Gutierrez, where are you? Where's your client, Mr.
She should be on there.
I'm here.
All right, Miss Gutierrez. Now, do you understand what's going on now, ma'am?
No, I don't.
All right, you didn't, Mr. DiMaggio, you and your client didn't get an understanding?
You know, Judge, it might be best to appoint another attorney on this case.
Well, what's going on?
It was a simple matter of I was just trying to tell you that the last ticket and the last officer that just got on the screen, that wasn't the same ticket that I've been on the docket for. That's all I was trying to tell you. That is a separate matter.
Miss Gutierrez, I see why you have a problem.
How do I have a problem? Because I'm just telling you that that's not the right ticket.
Because you're not listening. You're telling me what you're on the docket for. I tell you what you're on the docket for.
Okay, so I was confused because I'm obviously on the docket for something new. I haven't been coming to court. I just got that ticket like 2 weeks ago. I didn't schedule a court date for that with Mr. Fitzgerald. He just pulled me over. I know what's going on. It's 3 different tickets going on and it's a lot of charges, but that last one, that's what I have not been coming to you for that. Like, that's something totally separate. That's all I'm literally trying to tell you. I know the ticket that I got from Mr. Fitzgerald, but that is not what I've been coming to you for. I just got that 2 weeks ago.
The SP 6797801. You got that ticket 2 weeks ago, February 11, 2025. Okay. So
right. That's all.
We're back on the record with Ms. Gutierrez. Okay. So that's not even the most important ticket. The most important ticket you do know about, don't you?
Yes, I do. The 2.
So what's going on? Why can't you come to a resolution with this individual?
No, I did.
Stop talking. Mr. DiMaggio, I can kind of see why you can't come to a resolution. Or are you driving, ma'am?
No.
I can see why you can't come to a resolution. But what is, without disclosing your client's confidential information, why can't you work this out for her?
Did I see Mr. Bowman? I've been trying to get in with Mr. Bowman. Yes.
All right, let's pass it again. All right, who are we ready on? Ms. Harris? Mr. Berry?
Ready on Mr. Golden,
We're ready on Glover, Your Honor.
Glover, you're ready on Glover? All right,
we're ready on Golden.
Let's go back on the record with Ms. Glover. Ms. Glover, I've given you an opportunity to speak to counsel. Counsel, what's your client want to do?
Yes, the prosecution gave the offer, if she pleads no contest, to the school ordinance violation, 6-month delayed sentence. She's pleading no contest due to lack of memory. And the other charge will be dismissed. Disorderly conduct one.
All right, is that what you want to do, Ms. Golden?
Yes, sir.
All right, if I enter no contest plea, it's gonna be treated like a guilty plea for sentencing. Courtney Golden, Courtney Glover, I'm sorry, Ms. Glover, it's gonna be treated as a guilty plea for sentencing. You understand that?
Yes.
Can I get a 6-month date? Please.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, raise your right hand, Ms. Glover. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah.
You can put your hand down. Mr. Ogletree, will you stipulate to the face of the ticket as an accurate factual basis for this no contest plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is the purpose of the no contest plea? What is the legal basis for it?
Lack of memory.
Okay. And will you stipulate the probable cause for the dismissal of the other matter?
We stipulate the probable cause.
All right. For that, I'm going to find your client. I'm going to enter a no contest plea on your client's behalf and dismiss SP 164299141. Ms. Glover, if you pay this matter and before September 22nd, that's going to be your next court date, September 22nd. If you pay this matter and don't get any further trouble as it relates to this, then we will dismiss the case, okay?
Okay.
All right, so come back on September 22nd and pay it at any DivDat kiosk in the city of Detroit. I'm told you can upload the DivDat app to your phone or come on down to the courthouse and pay it in person. Those are the two best ways I can tell you to pay it, all right?
Okay.
Last time, this is the last time on this case, Mr. DiMaggio.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, why can't we, have we come to this some sort of meeting of the minds or anything about this?
No, I've gone graciously to Mr. Bowman, and he's explained the offer again. I've explained it to her. She just won't accept the offer. She just says she wants a new attorney, so there's nothing more I can do for her.
Ms. Gutierrez, you just don't understand how this works. I don't know how to explain it to you any better. You don't have the right to come in here and pick and choose which attorney that you get. The only way that you get that right is if you hire one yourself, or you go to this is the case where you requested an appointed attorney and we got you an appointed attorney. And I don't understand what's blocking the movement of this case. I can kind of see it's you. So why can't you speak with Mr. DiMaggio and get some kind of understanding about what's going on?
I tried to, and everybody is getting upset with me because I'm asking questions. Like, I keep just being told to do stuff, and I'm not. This last time I just came back into the breakout room with him, the deal has completely changed, and it's something completely different. Everything keeps changing. I don't understand what's going on, and y'all kind of just want me to say okay and just do it. So I guess whatever charges y'all have, just okay, and whatever it is. It's okay. I'll do it because I don't want to keep arguing and be combative.
She says that she doesn't want to be argumentative and combative, but continues to be argumentative and combative. Now, I'm all for fighting your corner, fighting your side, fighting for your rights, and defending yourself. Absolutely 100%, but there's a way to conduct yourself too. And forcing us all to look directly up your nose holes is not the way to do it.
Stop. What question do you have?
I don't have any question. Whatever plea is available, I would take.
Mr. DiMaggio, you know something, Ms. Ms. Gutierrez, you're a very, you know, I can respect the fact that you you're serious about this and you want to defend yourself. That's what you have the opportunity to do today. All right. Now, when you mentioned that the other tickets that you had were tickets that were for 2 weeks ago, a little more than 2 weeks ago now, but I know what you mean by that, a month ago. Though the way I do it is instead of having you come back and forth to court, I told you on that date, I gave you the case numbers, that those tickets would be subsumed in this court hearing today. Now, as it relates to those tickets are an expired plate and a no insurance misdemeanor. Not the most serious charges that we see, and not the most serious charges that you have listed here. I think a more serious charge would be the leaving the scene or failure to report failure to report an accident, which is a 0-point offense. It doesn't abstract to the Secretary of State. It's just going to be a fine. Well, all of them, whatever you plead to will be a fine. But leaving the scene of a property damage accident is the most serious allegation that you have here. And then you have some no insurance charges here. So if you're taking into context the 2 cases that you got last month, those cases are basically going to be subsumed in any offer that you get today.
Okay.
The ones that are the more serious ones that you knew that were going to be on the docket today was the leaving the scene of a property damage accident and the failure to report an accident and the other no insurance charge. And then you had maybe, the other cases are going to be dismissed because the officer wasn't here. Now, what is the final offer that you got for Ms. Gutierrez, Mr. DiMaggio? I've said all that, and now he's gone. Mr. Dupree, I want to give Mr. DiMaggio has indicated that he's not, that he can't work with Mr. Gutierrez. I'm going to give it to Mr. Dupree and let Mr. Dupree talk to you. All right. All right, Mr. DiMaggio, are you there now?
Yes, Judge.
Let's go back on the record with Gutierrez. So hopefully this is the last time.
Okay.
All right. Now, let me just hear what you have to say about the offer that was presented to Ms. Gutierrez.
Okay, the offer
she's here. All right.
Okay. The offer basically is to plead to an expired plate as charged, an improper plate in place with no insurance, and a failure to report a property damage accident. She's basically going to plead to 3 charges, and then the rest will be dismissed.
Turn your camera on and your mic. Now we got it. What I think she's doing is I think she's driving. Everybody wants it their way. Turn your camera on and your mic, Ms. Gutierrez. I'm going to ask you the last time, please. All right, say that again. I have an improper plate. I have a failure to report an accident and an expired plate. Is that the offer, Mr.?
That's correct. That's correct.
All right. So, let me make sure this improper plate, this failure to report does not abstract to the Secretary of State. Failure to report an accident does not abstract to the Secretary of State, does it? Mr. Fitzgerald Harris, Officer Fitzgerald Harris?
Yeah, I'm not for sure, Your Honor.
Ms. Gutierrez, if you do it again, I'm just getting fed up with you. Leave your camera on, leave your mic open.
Okay, I just wrote you. Jesus, I didn't know.
See, this right here is part of the problem. This is the way some people are brought up. This lady looks to be around the same age as me. If I spoke to my dear mother like that, I wouldn't have to worry about a slipper. I wouldn't have to worry about a wooden spoon. My mother would go full on Stone Cold Steve Austin on me if I spoke back to her like that. And I feel like a lot of these people who are around my age right now got away with everything when they were younger, and then they act like this.
Failure to display, failure to report an accident, I do not believe in abstracts. So I'm not going to fine you for everything. I'll fine you for one of the matters of $240 and $145. I won't fine you for the second misdemeanor. You want to take the deal, ma'am? Neither of the misdemeanors abstract to the Secretary of State. Neither carry points. I'll dismiss the misdemeanors upon payment. You want to take the deal?
So what you said?
Failure to display, that's a misdemeanor, is a $240 fine. I will dismiss upon payment. That does not abstract to the Secretary of State, and that does not. Go ahead, Mr. Bowman.
Do you mean improper plate? Because failure to display is abstractable.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. Improper plates, I'm sorry. Improper plates for the no insurance misdemeanor. It's for one of the no insurance misdemeanors. It's the improper plate, $240 fine. It will not abstract to the Secretary of State, therefore it won't carry any points, and it'll be dismissed if you pay it. And then a civil infraction of expired plates, $145. That does not abstract to the Secretary of State, nor does that carry any points. And that will be closed out once you pay it. I won't fine you for the failure to report an accident. Now we'll just close that out if you take the plea. You want to do that, ma'am, or no?
That's fine. Yes.
Have Mr. DiMaggio, have you read Ms. Gutierrez, her advisor rights?
I think I could do it right now if you want me to, Judge. It's been a confusing day.
Ms. Gutierrez, can you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Or you can put your hand down. Do you understand the maximum possible penalty for this offense is 93 days in jail and or $500 in fines?
Yes.
Do you understand that you have an absolute right to a trial?
Yes.
Let me go over the advisory rights. Let me go over the advisory rights. Give me an advisory rights form, please. Ms. Gutierrez, do you understand that if you need a special accommodations to use the court because of disabilities, or if you require a foreign language interpreter to help you fully participate in court proceedings, please contact the court immediately to make arrangements. You have been brought to court on a misdemeanor charge. You have the following basic rights. You have to plead guilty or not guilty, or to stand mute. If you stand mute, a plea of not guilty will be entered. You may plead no contest with the permission of the court. To have a trial by jury, to have the assistance of an attorney. Number 3, you have the right to an attorney appointed at public expense if you are indigent, without money to hire an attorney. And if the offense charge requires a minimum jail sentence, or the court determines that it might sentence you to jail. 4, you may have to repay the expense of the court-appointed attorney. In this case, you would not. If you have a trial, you have the following rights: to call witnesses to speak on for you at trial. You may get an order signed by the court to require witnesses to come to court, to see, hear, and question all witnesses against you at trial, to be a witness for yourself or to remain silent. If you choose not to be a witness on your own behalf, the prosecuting official may not comment on your refusal to testify. To be presumed innocent unless proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Number 6, if you plead guilty or no contest and your plea is accepted, you will not have a trial of any kind and will give up the rights listed in items 3 through 5 above. 7, you have the right to be released on bond. 8, if you are now on probation or parole and you enter a plea of guilty or no contest or a finding of guilt is made by a judge or jury, it may result in a violation of your parole, of probation or parole. Number 9, you can be sentenced to jail and fines plus costs. The court will tell you on the record the name of the offense, the mandatory minimum jail sentence, if any, and the maximum possible penalty, including jail fines or both. In this case, the maximum possible penalty is 93 days in jail and or $500 in fines. 10, fines, costs, and other financial obligations imposed by the court must be paid at the time of the assessment, except when the court allows otherwise for good cause shown. If you are not able to pay due to financial hardship, contact the court immediately to request a payment alternative. 11, an appeal to circuit court may be taken within 21 days from the date of sentence as permitted pursuant to MCR 6.625 B. If the sentence includes incarceration and if you wish to file an appeal but are financially unable to retain an attorney, your court will appoint a lawyer to represent you on appeal if the request for a lawyer is made within 14 days after sentencing. 12, federal law and or state law may prohibit you from possessing or purchasing ammunition or a firearm, including a rifle, pistol, or revolver, if you are convicted of a misdemeanor crime of violence and you are a current or former spouse, parent, or guardian of the victim. You share a child in common with the victim. You are or were cohabitating with the victim as a spouse, parent, or guardian, or you are or were involved with the victim in another similar relationship. Do you understand those rights, Ms. Gutierrez?
Yes, I do. I just had one more question. That last case that just came up where the officer got on, he told me that I would be able to show if I showed proof of insurance, and the plates weren't expired, I would be able to get that dismissed. That's still not possible to do because I asked my lawyer that, and he.
Do you have proof of insurance and the plates, ma'am?
Yes.
Show the court proof of insurance and the plates, please.
I don't have it on. I can't bring it up there and show you. How would I show you that right now?
You just hold it up. If you have a copy of the insurance.
I don't have it offhand, but could I bring it up to the court by maybe say this week and then?
We gotta do this. Possible? Mr. Bowman, any objection for her to bring this proof of insurance and stuff to the court?
I could bring it Thursday if that's possible.
Yes, Your Honor, because I was getting ready to state for the record, while you're reading her advice of rights, she's in whatever car she's in. I'm sitting
in the car.
Don't say anything, Miss Gutierrez. Listen, Miss Gutierrez, you gotta let him speak. And then you speak, okay? You're gonna get your tongue.
Okay.
Mr. Bowman.
Thank you, Your Honor. While she's been sitting in this car, while you are reading her rights, she has been playing with her phone and unbraiding her hair. So whether or not you spoke those words of it to her rights, based upon the fact that she continued to do all those things, I don't know whether or not she understood or not what you diligently read. That's number one.
Mr. Bowman, I don't care if she's braiding her hair or what she's doing. I read her rights. She indicated she understood those rights. That's the most paramount thing for the court. My question to you is, will you allow her to bring in proper documentation?
I will not allow her to bring it in. All she's done today is show total disrespect for you and the court system. So she gets no breaks.
Mr. DiMaggio. Where's Mr. DiMaggio?
And as a matter of fact, Your Honor, if there is another court appearance, I'd like her to be present.
Well, she said there was another court appearance. She said she was gonna bring the paperwork down.
Yeah, okay.
All right, listen, the attorney's gone. I don't know what keeps happening, you know. I'm gonna allow you to bring the paperwork in, man. Officer Harris?
Yes, Your
Officer
Honor.
Harris, I'm gonna allow her to bring the paperwork in.
Okay, Your Honor.
Even though I will kind of agree, Ms. Gutierrez, you do kind of exhibit a lack of disrespect. I feel that is not done intentionally because of your passion about the process and things like that. But nevertheless, it's got to be some order here. I think I've given you ample time to speak. But when somebody else is speaking, and when I'm giving somebody else time to speak, it's your time to listen. And I'll give you an opportunity to respond. You can't just jump in and cut people off. You have to take a minute and listen to what they're saying, all right?
Okay.
Including me. When
I just want to say I've been dealing with you for months. I was not trying to be disrespectful to you. I literally was just confused and was trying to get the accurate information because of what was
but it's
going
just a way
on.
to it's a way
That's
to go
all.
about doing it's a way to go about doing that.
I understand, Your Honor. I really do, but I just was confused. That's all. And I'm trying to make sure that my ducks is in a row and that I'm getting the accurate information because to be honest with you still right now, I'm a little bit confused, but everybody is coming down on me because I keep asking questions and keep like, so what are we moving forward? I'm just making sure. Hopefully you don't get too upset. You're dismissing the first case. I know. The two with the insurance and the plates. I'm able to, for both of those cases, I am able to bring my plates and bring the insurance in. I know I have to physically come in with that information and I'm good after that.
No, you're still gonna plead something because you got a failure report and accident.
I thought that's what you just said you were dismissing. That's why I'm confused.
Yes. I don't know how much I can tell you.
And honestly, I guess this is where me and my lawyer confusion came in at. I said that I would not have a problem with pleading guilty to those charges for the no insurance and the plates. But that hit and run accident, they're saying whatever is going on, I don't know. I told you that I do not know what is going on. They didn't give me a discovery packet. They didn't give me no information. They just want me to plead to this case, and that is not me. That's all. That is the most important. The most important case that you're talking about. I'm trying to tell you that's not me, and I did not do that. I don't know what they're talking about.
So we have to have a trial then. She says
that's not fine. That's what I wanted to do initially.
She says that's not her. Listen, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put Mr. DiMaggio, you asked to be off the case. I'm gonna let you off the case. We'll put Mr. Dupree on the case.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Mr. DiMaggio, best of luck to you. I'll see you soon.
All right, thanks, Judge.
All right.
Judge, if we could throw Ms. Gutierrez in a breakout room so I can talk to her, but can we, I've got two cases ready, I think.
All right, Ms. Gutierrez, I'm gonna go just wait in breakout room 5, now, if you can't get it with Mr. Dupree, then I don't think anybody can help you, okay? All right, so I'm gonna put you in breakout room 5, wait on Mr. Dupree to come in and talk to you, all right?
I don't know about you, but I am sure as shit looking forward to that trial. Can you imagine what this one would be like in front of the judge, like in court, acting up? But see, that's the thing. As much as I love Zoom court, because let's face it, we've all had so much enjoyment out of it, does kind of cause a lot of problems too, though. So when asked, do I think that Zoom court should be abolished? Honestly, I would actually say no, because it's way too much fun. And in fairness, it can massively cut down on the cost to the court and stuff like that. So there's other benefits too, but there's a lot of drawbacks as well. Let me know what you think, though. Do you think that they should continue doing it now that all the coof is gone and all that? Or should they stop it altogether? I think it's good. I think it's ultimately good. It's also entertaining. And it's educational for people who otherwise wouldn't maybe be able to go and have a look at a court. And then if the person's misbehaving, playing silly buggers, just force them to come in. Anyway, folks, thank you so much for joining me. Let me know what you think. We'll catch you in the next one. Sláinte.
You're not listening, so this is great. You're as great as the trooper is. And I would like it on.
Whoa. I want to make sure that you've had full opportunity to tell me everything.
No, I haven't, because you have made it clear that you do not care to listen either. And it is okay. I have gone through the chain of commands that I need to, and I will continue.
I could tell you had a chip on your shoulder from the get-go. You know that?
Oh, thank you.
I'm trying to.
I tried very hard to be very kind until that moment. Then I told him I did not want to speak to him anymore.
Is Ms. Johnson here? There she. Yeah, there you are. Ma'am, you have to unmute and state your name, and then Trooper, state your name, please.
Trooper Weston Williams.
Crystal Johnson.
All right. Any offer here, Trooper?
Is this for Mr. Ali?
No, it's for Crystal Johnson. This is a violation of basic speed law. So she slowed off the roadway into the woods due to a snowy, wet condition.
Yeah, I'd offer impeding traffic.
Do you want to plead to impeding traffic, ma'am?
No, sir, I do not.
Okay, so I want to just have you listen to me a second here, and then we can go from there, okay? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me whether you take impeding traffic or not. We have a hearing that can take place right now by Zoom. Violation of the basic speed law requires you to keep your vehicle under control at all times, no matter the road conditions. So if, as an example, I determined that you were traveling and you drove off into the off the roadway, that would be a violation of the basic speed law. I'm not trying to talk you out of having the hearing, but if we have the hearing and you lose, you're going to get the points. So but I'm not under any circumstance trying to talk you out of having a hearing.
I understand.
So do you want to have the hearing still, or do you want to plead to impeding?
I want to have the hearing.
Raise your right hands. Trooper, I need to see your hand, please. You solemnly swear or affirm under penalties of perjury that the testimony you'll give in these proceedings will be the whole truth, so help you God. Trooper?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am?
Yes.
Okay, you can proceed, Trooper.
I'm on a crash right now, sir. Do you mind giving me 1 second here? My partner.
No, take your time.
Real quick.
Pardon?
My partner's going to kick these occupants loose, and just give me 1 second here. I apologize.
No problem. Do you have any questions about what I said, Ms. Johnson, before we begin?
I do not.
Okay. Do you have Marissa Sedlar here, Lisa?
2022 54.
Go ahead.
They just saw mine over the wall, blocking the left lane and causing a major backup. Let's see what's going on. I can't get any car.
Okay.
Lisa, can you hear me? Is Marissa Jade Sedlar out there?
Yes, she is.
Why don't you bring her in, and that'd be Trooper Pusilowski.
He's not here on Zoom.
Okay, people against Marissa Jade Sedlar, 25M493-218. Your name, ma'am?
Marissa Jade Sedler.
Good morning to you. The officer failed to appear. I gave him 15 minutes. Case dismissed.
Okay.
Okay, you're all set. Have a good day. Be careful out there. Good luck.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
You too. All right, recalling Crystal Ann Johnson, 25M491-844. Trooper, your name again?
Trooper Weston Williams.
Ms. Johnson, your name again?
Crystal Johnson.
I've had you both sworn in. Trooper, you can go ahead and proceed.
Yes, sir. On 2/15/2025 at approximately 10:39 in the morning, I was dispatched to a crash. It was a one vehicle crash. The driver slid off in the right ditch. It was snowy conditions that day, and I wrote her a citation for a violation of basic speed law.
And
And
that
that
was
was
Ms.
South
Johnson?
75. Yes, sir. That was South 75 near Gibraltar.
Sibley.
Okay.
Or Sibley. Sorry about that.
Okay. Any questions of him, Ms. Johnson?
I have no questions, sir.
Do you wish to testify?
I do. I actually wish I could be in court right now, but obviously Trooper Williams isn't there, so it wouldn't matter. He arrived an hour after the situation, so I would like to state that. Therefore, he had no idea what the conditions were of the roads. I would like to state that I drove 34 miles without incident before sliding off the road. So clearly I was not driving erratically if I made it 34 miles in a snowstorm. I printed out pictures of what the conditions were. You can see his vehicle right there.
Ma'am,
Yes.
before we go on, I'm gonna listen to you.
Okay.
I'm not gonna be a legislator here, though. I didn't write this law. And it says what it says. And
Understood,
that
sir.
is clearly a violation of the basic speed law. I'm trying to help you. I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm not trying to cut you off. I'm not trying to be mean or any other such thing. This was a technical violation of the basic speed law. I cannot do anything but find you responsible. If you want to take the impeding, you're going to save yourself 2 points. Now,
Sir?
I'm going to listen to you. I'm not going to debate it with you. I'm just trying to tell you again nicely, and then you can tell me, Judge, I want to proceed, or Judge, I want to take the plea, and I'll shut up and listen.
Okay, Judge, I am wanting to proceed.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
And the reason I am proceeding is because there was no speed violation whatsoever, as I made it 34 miles without any issue or incident. The officer or you're not listening, so this is great. You're as great as the trooper is. And I would like it on.
Whoa.
No, I want this on record that this is what the problem is, and this is why I did not want to take the impeding traffic. The officer mocked me. The officer made sure to belittle me. And I refuse to allow that kind of treatment.
Okay.
So that is where I'm
anything
coming
else?
from. That would be it, sir.
I want to make sure that you've had full opportunity to tell me everything.
No, I haven't, because you have made it clear that you do not care to listen either. And it is okay. I have gone through the chain of commands that I need to, and I will continue.
I could tell you had a chip on your shoulder from the get-go. You know that?
Oh, thank you.
I'm trying to help you here, and you want to make you want me to make my own laws, and that I can't do. I just asked. Hang on. I asked to see your record. That's all I said. Do not accuse me of not listening. I heard every single word you said. If there's anything else you want to say, go ahead and say it. I'm all ears. I'll listen to whatever else.
Okay, I'm going to speak now then. Is that okay?
No, it's not right now. Trooper, did you mock her in any way?
No, sir. So she filed a complaint against me to my post commander. He sent the video up to our internal affairs who investigates complaints, and they didn't find anything wrong with the interaction we had. The only thing that was wrong, I wasn't wearing my hat.
You were wearing your hat, sir.
That's what I told them, but I wasn't wearing it for the whole time. So that's what they talked to me about. I didn't get in trouble for anything else of how we interacted with each other. So,
all right, go ahead, Ms. Johnson.
So when he asked me if I was speeding, I told him I was not. And he gestured to the people driving down the road and said, well, none of these people are flying off the road. To me, that is mocking me. I had been through something traumatic. And for him to say something like that and compare me to people is absolutely sad and not okay. Period. And it went downhill from there. It's not that I have a chip on my shoulder. I showed him the utmost respect. I tried very hard to be very kind until that moment. Then I told him I did not want to speak to him anymore. And he continued to follow me. And I don't feel as though that kind of treatment, basically victim shaming people, is the way to handle yourself as an officer. I went home and had a conversation with my 21 and 16-year-old to let them know, do not call the police if you are ever in trouble. They do not care.
Gosh.
It was awful.
Anything-
It was a bad situation. It's not a chip on my shoulder. It's me being hurt.
All right, listen. Okay. Anything else?
That's it. Just that it was a
I
snowy
want you to
condition.
understand. I want you to understand. I would never condone anybody talking to anybody in a demeaning fashion.
Well,
Okay.
it was.
Well, but that doesn't entitle you to a dismissal of the case. I tried to tell you nicely. I tried to tell you 2 or 3. I mean, I don't have any choice but to find you responsible as charged.
That's fine.
I really wish you would have taken the impeding. I really do.
That's fine.
135 is your total. Can you pay that today or do you need time?
I can pay that today.
Okay, you can go online on 33court.com.
Thank you.
Good luck to you, ma'am. I wish you well. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So explain this to me, Ms. Curtis. I was a little unsure about exactly what the relationship is between the two of you and Ms. Yell. It looks like you are all tenants in the same building. Is that right?
No, we live in a trailer park and there's no relationship other than she's just my neighbor that lives on the side of me and
Okay.
and that's it.
Okay. So, and you say that she yells at night. Is she yelling at you or at Mr. Pelayo? What's the story there?
Yeah, in a passive aggressive type of way. She has come over to my house several different occasions, like screaming and yelling up at my door and accusing me and my boyfriend of weird things that are completely like unexpected. And she says things like we're trying to control her internet and her Roku and just random weird things like that. And she said she makes up stories about us trying to get us kicked out of here to my landlord and to the police, and it's just gotten out of control, and I've let it go for quite a long time now, and it's getting to the point where like I'm starting to feel kind of threatened, pretty threatened. And
Okay. How often does she come over?
well, she hasn't come over for, I don't know, what, a few months maybe? Yeah. A few months probably at this point in time, but she does other things like calls the police on us and makes up stories and stuff. So, and goes and makes up stories about us to the landlord, and it's all, so like when I first moved in, she thought that I was sleeping with her boyfriend. Her boyfriend lives on the other side of me. He lives on one side, her boyfriend lives on the other side.
Right.
For some reason, I don't know why, she thought that I was sleeping with her boyfriend, and which is not even close to the truth. And so that's kind of all what started it. Ever since then, she's had something out for me, and I don't know why. And it's just been like a whole, I don't know. She's came over and apologized actually, and like left notes and like gift bags of used clothes and used makeup and stuff, and apologizing and saying that she's bipolar and she's so sorry that she acted that way and whatever, and it won't happen again. And then I'm like, okay, whatever. And then it'll happen, then she'll deal with something else and it'll happen again. And it's ridiculous. I just want her to leave me alone.
How long has this been going on?
Since I've lived here for what, over a year? Almost 2 years, yeah.
Okay.
And it just seems to be getting worse. Like I don't even pay any attention to her at all. I don't have anything to do with her. I don't even think about her. And then she'll do something and say something crazy about me. And I just really want her to leave me alone.
Okay, now you indicated in your petition that she threatens you. What does she threaten?
Yeah, she's threatened. She'll be outside in the middle of the night, like screaming and yelling at how she's gonna kick my ass and whatever, and just random crazy threats.
And you know it's directed at you.
Yeah.
How? Is she using your name, or what is she
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. For sure. Me and my boyfriend.
Okay. So she's directing it to the two of you,
Mm-hmm.
not just yelling at the moon.
No, like she's definitely is at us.
And you said that she threatened to use black magic. What do you mean by that?
So I found a phone outside in my backyard one time, and because she cuts through my yard to go to her boyfriend's, and so I found a phone out there and I didn't know whose it was, and so I looked at it to try to find out whose it was, and I went into the messages and I started reading some of the messages, and it was her talking to one of her friends about us and how she thinks that I'm sleeping with her boyfriend and she's gonna do some black magic spells on me, and I don't remember the details of it, but it was kind of scary, and then we gave her phone back.
Okay.
I did take screenshots of all those.
And Mr. Palaio, do you have anything you want to add?
That's about it. I mean, just it's crazy. We don't have nothing to do with her. She's really.
Okay, but so if I understand correctly, it's been a couple months since she has come over to your property. Is that right?
Yeah, but she's done other things. Like like a week ago, she called the police on us and had the police come out, and we weren't even home. I don't even know what she told them, but I saw on my cameras that the police were at my door, and I did some research and I found out that she had called them and some kind of type of disturbance, and we were at work. We weren't even there. So she made up I don't know what she said to them, but they came out and to my house, and I'm like, she does stuff like that, even though she doesn't directly come to me anymore. She does stuff like that, or she'll go to my landlord and tell him that I'm trying to control her Roku, and stealing her internet and just weird random stuff like that.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Ms. Yell?
Basically, I've never threatened or intimidated or made any verbal threats towards Rose. I've maybe had 3 conversations with Rose, and those conversations were over 2 years ago. And I apologized to Rose and resolved that issue. I feel that Rose is retaliating against me to purposely make me look out to be the perpetrator. And I'm not the one who's cussing her out or calling her names all night long. That this verbal abuse from Rose has been going on for the last 6 to 9 months. I'm not the one who's monitoring Rose or Gustavo's behavior. I have never bothered them or observed or monitored them or stalked Rose, nor have I ever verbally threatened or bullied or called Rose any names. I've been kept all hours of the night, being called a fucking bitch. I hate you. I'm going to kill you. I've had both Rose and Gustavo state to go kill myself, and I should have shot you already. I've had my Wi-Fi hacked into, and I had many disruptions, too many to count. Rose has kept me up for 4 or 5 days, making these threats over and over all night long. I couldn't call the police in fear of Rose's threats of retaliation. I did notify the manager of the park, and he advised me to file an anti-harassment order, and I told them I would think about it. Rose claims
that I keep her up all night, but I sleep 12 hours a night and I turn my TV down at 10 o'clock. And in the past, I've asked Rose to please respect my privacy, and her response was, "You think I'm up and jealous of you, bitch." Because of Rose's threats Rose has made towards me, I now feel for my own safety, and I've had to go through so much stress, strain, and mental duress. I'm exhausted, confused, and afflicted. I'm unable to cope with my daily life, and because of the situation, I recently signed up for counseling, and I've had 2 appointments. I missed 2. I've had to change my door locks 2 times, and I've changed my internet provider 2 times. I recently ordered home security to keep myself safe in this situation. It has cost me my finances, my health, and my safety. It's been a financial burden on me, and Rose has caused me strife and abuse for the last year. I've done nothing wrong but keep to myself. I don't get involved in neighborhood drama nor any of the neighbors, and I would like the behavior to stop. I just want peace of mind, and I'd like to be left alone and be able to live in solitude, where I can have some kind of peaceful situation come to this resolve. I've had to put up some window on my windows because Rose and Gustavo were looking in while they were pretending to water plants. I've had to keep my windows and doors closed because of the constant eavesdropping. I feel like I have no privacy in my home. And basically, I know that Rose makes sure that when she leaves that she has Gustavo watch me and monitor me while I'm there, so I can't call 911 because she's accusing me that I'm calling 911 all the time on her for the last year. And basically, I've had to go to many medical appointments, and I've had panic attacks because of the situation. I live alone, and I don't have any friends or family to go through, so I live in fear and in trepidation. And basically, I felt like I've been followed on a number of occasions, but I've suffered so much mental distress because of this, and I've had breakdowns, and I just want the behavior to stop. That it's not me that's doing this, that it's Rose that's the one who's the one that's harassing me. Right. And I provided with you some statements from some family and friends. From Roger Yowell, and I provided a statement from Raina Pearson, Rita Nice, Miles Toll, and my neighbor Ramona Bear. And then I provided some documentations of my journals. And thank you, Your Honor.
And Ms. Curtis, do you have anything else you want to add?
There's not one bit of truth to any single thing that she said. Not one single bit of truth. I've never, ever even purposely talked to this lady in my life. Not once have I talked to her or had any. I don't understand why she even thinks this stuff about us, other than her thinking I was sleeping with her boyfriend. That's when it all started. And her boyfriend had told us on numerous occasions how she's crazy, and every single one,
She's off her medication or something like that.
And all of our neighbors will say how she's crazy and bipolar or whatever mental illness she's got that is paranoid about people, and she thinks that we would want for some reason to stalk her or even know what she's doing. I don't care about any of that. Like, she's of no importance to me. I don't even think about her. I never have. So all these are just delusions, and I would appreciate it if she got some help, because it's kind of affecting my life, and I really don't want anything to do with this drama. I don't have problems with any of my neighbors. So
thank you.
It's honestly kind of sad if she really believes that kind of stuff. It's kind of concerning and sad.
All right, listening to the two of you, Ms. Curtis indicates that there had been a period of time in which Ms. Yao was yelling at her, taking offense under the belief that Ms. Curtis had relationships with Ms. Yowell's boyfriend. That apparently the direct contact from Ms. Yowell to Ms. Curtis apparently stopped a few months back. There's a concern by Ms. Curtis and Mr. Pelayo that Ms. Yowell reports falsities to the landlord in the trailer park and also has been calling the police and making false allegations and leading to at least one stop by the police at Ms. Curtis's and Mr. Pelayo's residence when they weren't present. On the other hand, Ms. Yowell says, in fact, it's the opposite, that she's being harassed by Ms. Curtis. And then Mr. Pelayo watches her and she feels under duress from the pressure they're putting on her and has asked for a realignment of the parties. There was a temporary order issued in this case. I'm going to first indicate to the parties that this court, I don't have any authority to tell somebody not to call the police. I don't have any authority to tell them to not talk to the landlord. I don't have any authority to tell them to tell the truth. If Ms. Curtis or Ms. Yowell is going to go to the landlord and say things that aren't true about Ms. Curtis and Mr. Pelayo, we don't have the authority under this process to tell her not to do that. And we don't have any authority to tell her not to call law enforcement. It's up to law enforcement. It's up to the landlord to make the decisions they want to make and decide whether they want to listen to what Ms. Yowell is telling them or not. So I'm going to find that Ms. Yowell is not directly contacting Ms. Curtis and Mr. Pelayo at this point in time. I will not enter the protection order. And the one temporary order will cease as of today. I will, however, make a record that Ms. Curtis and Mr. Pelayo, Ms. Yowell have made very clear that they do not want any contact from you. So they have the right to come back and refile this order if you contact them in the future. You are to, there's no order here, but you are well advised not to have contact with them since they have made very clear that they don't want to hear from you at all. And on the other hand, for Ms. Curtis and Mr. Pelayo, Ms. Yowell has said that she doesn't want to hear from the two of you. And she has the right to make that request and has made it. So Ms. Yowell has the right to file a petition if she believes that you contact her over her objection to have contact. You both have asked for the very same thing, that is, leave me alone. So hopefully the two of you can live up to that. But as I've said, the court will not limit what somebody can say about somebody else and doesn't prohibit people from calling law enforcement or speaking to their landlord. That's something the court will not address. All right, I've signed a denial order. Thank you both.
Özel Stafford.
Your interpretation. In this case.
Your Honor, I'm not quite sure. Last time we appeared in the court had advised the parties to all reserve all the documents that had been served because of some last pleadings the defendant filed. I haven't received any additional pleadings from them. We did file an answer to those pleadings. I do notice that I pulled the docket today, and there is, as of today, some reference to a dismissal with prejudice. And I'm not quite sure what that would mean in this
Well,
instance.
the problem is, and I don't. Okay. You've not received any documents that you attempted.
Nothing since the original delivery that I placed on the record.
At the last hearing, I struck all of the documents that had been filed by the defendant in this case because she had changed the caption. They were to be refiled and served.
They were not.
Was that done?
Yes,
Was that done?
Your Honor, first of all, we have not been.
Ma'am, I asked a yes or no question.
Yes, Your Honor, we served the plaintiff with the joinder we filed, and in federal court. We did. The plaintiff did not send us any pleadings. I have not received any complaint. I have not received, he has not followed the rule 5.108 of 7-day notice that he has to give me. He is in violation of professional responsibility, rule 7 and 8. We have not received any complaint, or he cannot produce proof of service to us, Your Honor. But we can provide proof of service that he was served by sheriff for federal claim.
We'll try this again. The last time that you were here, I told you that you had improperly changed the caption on the pleadings. I struck those pleadings, told you that you needed to refile them with the correct caption and serve them on opposing counsel.
Yes, we
My sole question to you is,
okay.
Did you do that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did we get a new filing? Yeah, because if she filed them and served them, they would be in my court file. And it's odd, I don't see new filings in my court file. And I don't see, and counsel's indicating he didn't get it, but she's telling me she didn't.
So according to JIS, today an answer and motion to dismiss was filed.
That was
Not by me, Your Honor.
yes, okay, I see that, but that was not the original.
I have not seen that.
Service on here, I don't. I still have Carl Staffield on this case, and I don't know why.
Because he's a resident too.
Then he needs to properly join the case. I don't. You did it again. The caption you just changed.
May I speak, Your Honor?
Yeah, go ahead. We did the same thing we did the last time.
May I show this to your?
No.
This.
You did the same thing.
No. This notice to appear is only addressed by the plaintiff for my daughter only, who is out of town, and we received it in the mail yesterday. And it doesn't even have my name on it.
Who filed this dismissal?
We did. I did.
You're not the plaintiff.
I'm a counter plaintiff.
Then how do you give me a notice of dismissal regarding this case?
That was
and not sign it?
I'm sorry.
You filed a dismissal of the case under the section notice of dismissal by plaintiff. You are not the plaintiff.
I am a counter plaintiff, Your Honor.
I am not accepting any of these pleadings until you get the caption right. I'm not accepting these sort of random documents coming in as a dismissal, a notice of dismissal. The only thing that you would be entitled to dismiss would be to the extent you believe you have a counterclaim. That's the only thing you're going to dismiss. You can't dismiss his claim.
Yes, Your Honor. May I say one more thing, please?
Go ahead.
My grandmama died, and we are flying out of US next week to attend the funeral. If you want to.
I'm not going to allow you to continue to delay these matters through some improper procedures that you're employing. I'm not going to let that happen. My condolences on your loss, but I am not going to just continue to lay this matter out to have you continue to do the same thing.
What am I doing wrong, Your Honor?
I have already told you what you're doing wrong. If you don't think you're doing anything wrong, then maybe you need to get an attorney.
Okay.
That's licensed to practice
Okay.
to do this.
Okay. Could we have next hearing after April 1st, please?
I'm not going out that far.
Your Honor, this is the third appearance in this case.
Oh, I know.
You gave her 2 weeks after the last appearance.
To get everything right.
And you admonished her to get an attorney at that point.
I did.
Yes.
Striking those pleadings. Don't file anything else that's improper and not properly filed with this court. I'm just going to be that direct.
Good.
Matter will adjourn to March 21st, 2020.
If I may, Your Honor, briefly, just briefly. This is not a rent case, Your Honor. This is
I know.
Termination of tenancy. The lease has been up for 60 days. She's staying in there. There was an escrow order that was filed. To our knowledge, she hasn't paid the rent. To our knowledge, she didn't pay the jury fee. To our knowledge, all these things have happened, and my client is being prejudiced by the moment here. There's damage occurring to the premises. There was construction and landscaping that was violative of the city ordinances and the HOA standards. We have a witness here today to testify that the property is being damaged as we speak, and we need.
What way?
There's significant runoff and sediment runoff. The backfill was backfilled 4 feet to 5 feet to more over the base of the trees in the backyard, and that's been that way for some time. The fact of the matter is she's had more than, I'm defer to the court, of course, but she's had more than an opportunity. She's filed this federal suit. She's doing everything possible to delay our occupancy, and I just don't think it's equitable or right. It's up, of course, your decision, Judge.
Oh, I know.
She knows well what she's doing to buy time here. And she served all these pleadings. She claims she doesn't have an attorney. I read the pleadings. They were drafted by somebody other than her, it appears. She hasn't followed one rule. She hasn't served me once correctly. The person that's named in the incorrect caption isn't even a tenant on the lease. I don't know where they came from here, but they're non-party. My clients had to pay me to come in here and deal with all this sort of thing. And I'm just, they've joined us in a federal case that names almost verbatim the same cause of action that's named in this very counterclaim that the court struck and apparently dismissed with prejudice. All I would ask the court is that I possibly could get if she wants to appeal this, and I would pretty much bet she's going to when the time comes. Let's get that process started, if at all the court would go along with us. Let's get a judgment for possession entered. We can give them a little extra time if they want to put in the appeal period and get us our judgment and then she can do what she's gonna do anyway when she gets her day in court, according to her. She's been here 3 times. I've traveled from Oakland County.
I'm sorry to hear that.
3 different, yeah, me too. 3 different times to be here, Judge. None of what she files makes any sense. And it's just not right on my client's behalf to let my client continue to suffer while they occupy the premises without any consideration. She's going to appeal this if we win, and we probably will. The point being, let her appeal. Let's get that process started if that's what she's going to do. Thank you, Judge, for listening. Yes.
Okay, good.
I want to answer.
Go ahead.
Your client, sir.
No, you will address me.
Okay, I apologize. His client, Your Honor, is a loan shark who bought our property in a redemption period and signed an agreement to let us buy this house back from him. We are ready to go ahead buy this house back, but while his client was owning this place in last 9 months, the Barton Village put a lien on the property. Now we cannot get a mortgage because they have a lien on the property. And by him in this court trying to put me down because I'm representing myself is also another violation of you.
You need to talk to me.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay. Your Honor, we have served everything. This gentleman cannot provide one proof of service to this court. He gives us papers last minute. We received this in the mail yesterday. He did not serve us properly.
That was the escrow order only.
Okay. I'm sorry. Please don't interrupt me. Thank you very much. I didn't interrupt you when you speak. Extend me the same courtesy, okay? This loan shark and his attorney are trying to...
Are you almost done?
Yes, to take us out of our home. And they put a lien on that house. So now we can't even get a loan to purchase the mortgage to purchase the property because it has a loan. Now he's asking us for the possession. We paid the rent, but the rental agreement is over. We want to buy the house. The lien doesn't let us buy the house, Your Honor.
I would ask for one brief moment to respond to that. If the court wishes.
Why are we doing this? Okay, so here's what happened. I told you what I was going to do.
Enough said.
You wanted to talk, then you wanted to respond. And now you want to go back and you guys want to spend all day going back and forth. Tell you what, we can put you over there on the side. I can handle all these other people's cases so they don't have to sit through this. I'm required to. And you guys can just go back and forth, and then I'm going to do what I was going to do 5 minutes ago.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
Hearing nothing else, March 21st, 2025, 2 p.m. You get the pleadings right or get an attorney in here. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Ma'am, you're not going to yell when you're in here. You're not going to whisper under your voice. I don't operate that way. Understood? No. Understood. I heard you all the way up here. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Judge.
Can you do me a favor? Can you go out there and just make sure they don't like? I don't want to call anymore. I'm done. I'm so done. Yeah, here, you take it. All right, let's try this one. I can't let you have it if you're not gonna be unbiased. All right. Danetta Masick versus Lula Williams.